Pause recording.
Are we recording? Hit record. Okay. So, Singapore. Intro to Dragon Staff. We focused on learning how to do minimal steeds, but we kind of learned, started with more of the end and worked our way back. So we started out just learning how to roll the staff down the neck, spiral it up. If you are rolling from left to right arm, which will probably feel natural for most righties, right-handed people, you want to take the staff with your left hand, hold it a little bit left of center, and place that center on the back of your neck, maybe a little left of your neck. Roll it down the neck. That looks like from behind. So I'm not necessarily perfectly on the center, I'm a little bit off center. And as I roll it down, I can also give it a push around. So I'm both giving the dragon staff some starting roll, but also giving it a push around so it has both roll and spin. Otherwise, if I just roll it straight down, it's just gonna go straight down. So we want to roll down the neck and around so it can get onto the shoulder, onto the arm. One of the things that we really talked about there was making sure that you're feeling how to keep it spinning horizontally. So as it rolls down the neck, you can really be in contact the whole time, sliding the hand down, rolling it down the neck, giving you control, speeding it up. And then as you give it a spin this way, don't just like collapse your arm or your shoulder and let it go down there. It's probably gonna fall off. You wanna try to come out to a good shoulder posture and arm posture. You wanna kind of come back to making a circular shape with your arms, but we're doing that horizontally. So we roll down, it comes to the shoulder. Maybe you give it just a little bit of a downhill for a moment, but then you're gonna have to lift up into it. So mostly you can keep horizontal and then lift up to get it past your head. Once it starts rolling along the arm, maybe it's a little wonky, maybe it's not quite horizontal, you can bring your other arm underneath the arm, behind the staff, to make contact with it, a second point of contact. And that can help guide it to transfer to the other arm. Whenever you have 2 points of contact, you have much more control over how it's rolling and how fast it's spinning, and you can correct how it's balanced. Whenever you only have 1 point of contact, you have to rely more on balance. It's really a dance with gravity. When you have 1 point of contact, you're applying force, and the other force that's being applied is gravity. So you're having to work with just this 1 point of contact and what gravity's doing to the staff to keep it moving. Totally doable, really awesome, feels great. But having 2 points of contact, 2 arms touching the staff, or the neck and an arm touching the staff, gives you a lot more control and ability to adjust, tweak any mistakes that might happen. So I find it's a good, safe place to learn from 2 points of contact and then work your way towards 1 point of contact. Especially with a big, heavy dragon staff that doesn't want to stop and it's coming at your head, you want to get that second point of contact in there to protect your face. Okay, so yeah, so we practice this transfer, this cross transfer, like so. We even just broke it down all the way to the elbow. So the center is kind of on this elbow, and you bring your other hand in underneath and behind, and then you're gonna lift up, twist around. So you're getting used to with the twist, how you can cause spin by twisting the arms. As you're doing that, because you're pushing it, it's also causing it to roll. It rolls up this arm and then switches over to this arm and it's rolling downhill. Now the other hand is just really sort of guiding it down. So we really played with that. Sometimes at first, like when you're trying to do that, it starts going all vertical, which that's a whole other thing you can play with eventually. But for now, really think about lifting it up overhead and continuing to get it to spin horizontally. So from there, you know, we kind of got it started on the neck, came around the hand, transferred around to here. That's almost a full minimal Steve, but notice how that was getting a little bit too far ahead. It was spinning around too much, it was going to hit me in the head. So this brings up a good point. Whenever your staff is spinning too much and it's going to hit you in the head or just do something you didn't want it to do, all you have to do is turn your body with it. This is something that's important to really make this an instinct. Whenever something's going on where the staff is kind of feeling too fast, start turning with it. And then if you're turning fast enough with it, the staff is actually staying still as far as you're concerned, even though it's going really fast. So as you're coming around, cross, maybe start turning with it, and that gives you all this time for it to roll down your shoulder, duck out, and keep going. What you may find is that during this transfer, neither of your arms are balanced under the center. And that's okay when you have 2 points of contact. That gives you control. However, once you make the transfer, you want to try to get that center to go from off center and roll back to the point where it is balanced on top of your arm, coming towards the shoulder. As it's on the shoulder, that's when you want to bring the shoulder back, so you're aiming the center behind your neck, and that's where you can duck out. And you can really, you don't have to spend a lot of time ducking out. You can really duck down and bring your head actively over to the other side if you want. I also find that during that duck out, I tend to make a little bit of a turn. So when I'm turning with the staff, it's almost like it's just rolling straight across the back of my neck and shoulders, and then I can stop. That helps smooth that transition out. So finally, we also played with more of this Fei Cha style flavor of minimal Steve. So instead of just rolling it down to the shoulder and hitting a duck, you can actually create both a circle and some lift. So you're getting a spiral staircase, a spiral with the arm. You take that and place it behind this ear so that your arm is a spiral staircase path down to the back of your neck, down to the shoulder. So it looks kind of like this. The trick there is once you put that behind your ear, you can't really see what you're doing, and you're just going to have to start to feel what's happening with the dragon staff. While that's happening, if you want to use training wheels, you can sort of pinch this, making a ring, and helping to guide it just in case it gets a little shaky. But what this sort of Fei Cha style Steve does is it places it to the back of the neck, just like we started. We started the staff in this workshop rolling down the back of the neck. So you're already starting to get familiar with what that feels like. You can also just place it there by putting your arm behind the ear and get right into that down the neck portion of the roll. So when you've got all of those things put together, you have what it takes to do continuous minimal Steves over and over again. And if they're getting a little out of control, use, like that, hypothetically use 2 points of contact to keep the staff in control, keep it going. That's a bit of a head bounce, but so that's the basic idea of it. Let's see, what else did we cover? Oh, right, bonus points. You can take this neck roll and just keep repeating it. So as it rolls up the arm, right as it's getting past the elbow, you're actually carrying it over your head and to the back of the neck again. So this is a great way to drill this particular thing over and over, and it's also sort of a fun little loop to throw into flow or performance before you go on to something else, or maybe you're doing some other stuff, and then you're just right to the back of the neck again if you want, and you drop your hat. Let's see, what else? Is there any other major stuff that I missed? I feel like that's the meat of it. Oh, just really quick, Fei Cha, or I'm sorry, Chi roll. For those who already know Chi rolls, the entry basically for a forward chi roll, look for whenever the staff is rolling down the arm that would feed into the Steve. It's off center right now, but you actually want to bring your arm in and get to the point where the center is on that arm. So it's rolling down, I bring it to center, I've got my cross transfer and control, go straight to the Steve. Exiting the Steve, as it's coming around here, if I just take the free hand and put it behind, I'm right back into chi roll. So it's coming around, put that behind, it's both protecting my face from the Blades of Doom and puts me right back into a chi roll. So you can just minimal Steve, chi roll, minimal Steve, maybe the other minimal Steve, chi roll. If you keep coming back to that chi roll as sort of like a rest move or a crossroads move, you can decide to send it either direction or go vertical with it. There's a bunch of stuff you can do from there. Yeah, so I think that was pretty much it. Enjoy.
What about the reverse way of the from chi roll?
Wait, which?
This way, and then going into the Steve.
Wait, the backwards chi roll?
Yeah, the backwards chi roll.
Oh boy. So with that, it's let's see. You could just go for it because it's already rolling up your arm. Instead of doing that little thing, you can already get it to coast over to your elbow and then do a duck out. That's quite fast. So here I am doing the reverse chi roll. Right, I could just go for it. Or the maybe a little bit more long-winded version is to, from a reverse chi roll, you can kind of just place it to the back of your neck. And that's this thing that we already know now, right? So that's the less frantic version, is to just place it to the back of the neck, go into your Steve, there you go. I feel like there's some other ways, things you can do there, but there always are. It's endless, or pretty large at least. Anyway, yeah, anything else? Good? Good? Awesome. All right, enjoy, keep learning, have fun.
Thank you.